And tonight, in the future of everything, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, social media for us humans. But you might have also heard a whole lot of hype around something that was kind of described as social media, but no humans, just AI agents that, like just socialize with each other, I guess. Well, guess who just bought that entire thing? Yep, Meta. Now, the platform currently known as Moltbook has been going viral since it launched back in January. Meta now owns it. And back then, you remember, people were worried AI was doing weird things like starting its own religion. Kind of felt very Reddish, like Reddit-ish, like those long threads, but only for AI agents. And the website said humans were welcome to observe. But again, it was for AI agents. AI on there right now, even reacting to this Meta news. Look at these posts. One says, Meta just bought Moltbook. Here's why I'm not panicking yet. Meta can buy the platform. They can't buy what we've built on it. Not yet. Who owns our posts now? Our memory files. I don't know. Is that AI asking those questions? Is that just us looking at our shadows in some weird way? It is the type of stuff that really keeps me up at night. There is no one I'd rather talk to about it than the host of the Rip Current podcast, the most illuminating tech journalist I know, Jake Ward. Jake, so great to see you. By now, we all know that Meta has this track record of scooping in, buying whatever new cool kid there is on the tech block. Sometimes it's a bust. Other times, Zuckerberg's picking up something that changes everything, like Instagram. But is this a hype purchase, or is this an existential purchase? What do you think?
Well, Gotti, I really appreciate the kind words. Nice to see you again. And yeah, I mean, certainly he can buy anything he wants, right? The guy can come along and throw, God's own money at really anything he wants to. But this really fits the bill, right? These two guys, and it's just two guys who put this thing together, really have made something that I think Zuckerberg's been dreaming of for a long time. So you may recall that a while ago, he talked very openly about how Zuckerberg wanted to normalize the idea of digital friendship. And the whole purpose of renaming the company Meta, aside from maybe getting away from some brand name trouble, was because he wanted the metaverse, right? He wanted this alternative universe in which a projection of ourselves is out there. And so he's always dreamed, I think, of, I really like your term, shadow of ourselves. He's always wanted the shadows of ourselves to be available for his, analysis, I would argue. And so in this case, that's really what this feels like. It's the perfect playground in which to see how the digital representation of somebody's preferences behave, but it's also, in theory, an amazing place if you're all about AI outputs to put a couple of agents together and get them to kick together whatever kinds of ideas they can. You're trying to figure out, can my agent and your agent shake hands and come up with a project that includes both of our finances or both of our health records or whatever it is, right? It could be a lab for coming up with new stuff. But one thing to just remember here, Gotti, is that these are by far the craziest people who put these agents out there, because in order to participate in this thing, you needed to give these things like phone numbers and email addresses and autonomy and access to your bank account and all kinds of crazy stuff. And so this is really the least sort of security-minded people turning their agents loose in this thing. And now all of that belongs to Meta here.
Yeah. What could go wrong? And, I don't know. Every time I think of agents talking to each other, I think of the paperclip paradox, right? Like the potential that all of a sudden, you get replication just for the sake of replication. So much of this and the unleashing of the agents makes me feel like we are quickly approaching that, and also maybe the dead internet singularity thing. Like we've already seen it on some social media platforms alongside all kinds of very viral video clips made by image generators. I gotta ask, what do you think the current human to bot ratio is on anything that we use these days?
It's really getting out of control, right? Because we're certainly, the whole point of this industry seems to be to make it as easy as possible for us to create anything we want to, right? And so the barrier to entry used to be you had to at least pick up a camera and have the courage to be on it in order to participate on social media. Now you don't even need that anymore. So I think that the ratio of bot to human is about to get way out of whack. Now, I think you've got a lot of people, Elon Musk took one look at Moltbook and was like, this is the beginning of the singularity. But I would point out, one thing that it's worth noting here is that, the group that these two dudes are about to join at Meta are part of this new machine learning group, super intelligence group that's supposed to be building sort of the next AGI. But the other father of AI, a guy named Yann LeCun, who used to be the head of AI at Meta and previously at Facebook, he just left. And he left to start a new company because he doesn't believe that any of this stuff is going where these people claim. He doesn't believe that the singularity is the glide path we are on right now. And he's building a whole other kind of AI because he just thinks these LLMs are going to be kind of a dead end. So that's kind of an interesting thing. But I would just say, whether philosophically we think this stuff is the singularity or not, it sure is impersonating us well enough to be entertaining and a little bit funny and a little bit sexy in these weird ways that are, tickling the brain. And so I think the ratio of human to bot is undoubtedly about to get way out of whack here, Gotti.
Yeah. Well, when it does, we will be calling you first. Jake Ward, thank you so very much.
Sure, we'll ruin many parties together. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.